As my life changed, then my priorities changed some too. Once you had children and, you're enjoying life, and I finally had a little money where I could enjoy, I didn't have.
We're here with Al, who's going to do a little bit of singing. George, this is one of my favorite songs. He stopped loving her today.
He said, I'll love you.
Alan Jackson, the famous country musician, has been in the public eye for many years. Recently, his daughter has spoken publicly about him, revealing details that fans have long suspected. This comes as no surprise, as Jackson has been admired for his talent and impact on the music industry. But his personal life has also been mysterious. Fans have been intrigued by his family dynamics, especially regarding his daughter's perspective on her famous father. Join us as we explore what has been revealed and how it has added to the public's understanding of Alan Jackson's life and career. It's impossible to think of country music and not think of Alan Jackson. However, his life has not been without its challenges. Early life and career. Originally from Newnan, Georgia, Alan Jackson was raised in a small household with 4 older sisters by his parents, Joseph Eugene and Ruth Music, also known as Mama Ruth. His family's roots can be traced back to England, giving him a rich cultural background. Growing up, Alan and his immediate family lived in a modest home that revolved around his grandfather's well-used tool shed, which held many memories for him. Tragically, Alan experienced the loss of his mother, who passed away on January 7th, 2017, leaving a void in his heart. With the unwavering support of his wife Denise Jackson, Alan's musical career began to soar in 1983. Initially, he was drawn to gospel music, but his musical horizons expanded as he discovered the sound of artists such as Hank Williams Jr., Gene Watson, and John Anderson. During his time at Elm Street Elementary and Newnan High School, Alan became a member of the band Dixie Steel, where his passion for music continued to grow. At the age of 27, Alan made the life-changing decision to move from Newnan to Nashville, Tennessee, with his wife Denise in pursuit of his dream of a full-time music career. This move proved pivotal for Denise as well, as she made a fateful encounter with country music legend Glen Campbell through her work as a flight attendant. Glen took an interest in Alan's talent after Denise shared her husband's musical aspirations, and he generously provided her with his manager's contact information. This introduction to a renowned figure in the industry opened doors for Alan, propelling him towards a successful career he enjoys today. He signed with Arista Records in 1989 and put out his debut single, Blue-Blooded Woman. A year later, Here in the Real World, which peaked at number 3 on the Hot Country Songs chart, was his second release. Riding the wave of success, Alan released his debut album Here in the Real World, which brought him his first number 1 hit, I'd Love You All Over Again, and 2 more top 5 hits, Wanted and Chasing That Neon Rainbow. Even more successful were his next 2 studio albums, Don't Rock the Jukebox and A Lot About Living and A Little About Love, which yielded 5 number 1 hits on their respective charts. Among these hit singles were songs that paid tribute to American singer-songwriter Hank Williams, such as Love's Got a Hold on You, Chattahoochee, and Midnight in Montgomery. In 1994, Alan's 5th studio album, Who I Am, was released, and sales of that record reached 10 million. With the collapse of the synthesized pop country craze of the 1980s, Alan, along with other great country artists such as Clint Black, Vince Gill, Travis Tritt, Garth Brooks, and Randy Travis, ushered in a new era that saw country music achieve previously unheard-of levels of success and popularity. Jackson's Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning, and homage to the victims of the September 11th terrorist attacks, won him his first Grammy for Best Country Song. Having won 4 country music awards in that same year, he matched Johnny Cash's record. While Alan was younger, his mother, Mrs. Ruth Jackson, affectionately known as Mama Ruth by those close to her, played a significant role in nurturing his talent. For songwriting and singing, Mama Ruth's unwavering support and encouragement served as a guiding light for Alan as he embarked on his musical journey. Her influence could be heard in the heartfelt lyrics and soulful vocals of some of his most popular songs, which have touched the hearts of fans around the globe. When he released his first gospel album, Precious Memories, as a Mother's Day gift for his mother, Alan chose to make the album commercially available in 2001 despite not originally intending for it to be released in that manner. Mama Ruth's influence on his career was clear. Furthermore, she had an impact on the publication of his second gospel album, Precious Memories 2, which was released in 2013. In the song Home, he also sang about the courtship of his parents, describing how they constructed their house in Newnan, Georgia, on top of an abandoned tool shed, the same location where Mama Ruth had lived for many years before her death at the age of 86. She played a significant role in his career, and her passing shocked the family, music lovers, and him because of her profound impact. However, Alan's life was filled with its ups and downs, especially his marriage to Denise. Let us examine the difficulties they encountered throughout their years of marriage. Facing marriage struggles, Alan and Denise Jackson's love story is truly remarkable, as they have been happily married for nearly 50 years, making them the longest married couple in the music industry. It all started back in 1976, when a 16-year-old Denise was on her way to buy ice cream, and fate brought her face-to-face with Alan in their hometown of Newnan. According to the Christian Broadcast Network, their love story began when they started dating as high school sweethearts, with Alan being 18 years old at the time. After a courtship that lasted about 3 years, the couple decided to take the plunge and tie the knot in 1979. At the time of their wedding, Alan had not yet committed to a music career, so they had no idea the incredible journey that awaited them in the music industry. Despite the ups and downs associated with being in the limelight, their love has endured through all of life's difficulties. They have faced hardships together, including a brief separation and various health problems, but their unwavering support for each other has kept their bond strong. Their enduring union is a testament to the power of love and commitment. As a celebrity couple, they have navigated the challenges of fame and fortune, using each obstacle as an opportunity to deepen their relationship and grow closer together. Despite the demands of their careers, they have always made time for each other and their family. In addition to their successful marriage, Alan and Denise are proud parents to 3 wonderful daughters. While none of them have followed in their parents' musical footsteps, each daughter has found success in their own right. At the 2022 CMA Awards, he accepted the Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award and dedicated it to his wife, stating that although he is not easy to love, she has always supported and helped him through good and bad times. He never stops thanking her for all of her support over the years, calling her his best friend and praising her for giving him a loving family. Before her memoir It's All About Him, Finding the Love of My Life, was published, Denise spoke with People in 2007 about the difficulties of her changing marriage. She revealed that when she was a teenager, she had an almost Cinderella complex, thinking that she would marry this confident, capable man who would take care of her forever, making their life together a grand fairy tale. She would eventually discover that her union with the country music star would not be without its difficulties. In her autobiography, she described how, as her marriage and life gradually fell apart, she came to understand that giving into God's love is more significant than material belongings, asserting that life is not a fairy tale, and that even the most ideal spouse cannot be your everything. She continued by emphasizing that the hymn in the title refers to God, not her husband. However, Denise lived with regret for many years following her marriage, as the man she had married, her ideal partner and who she shared a Tennessee mansion with for 18 years, announced his divorce shortly after she learned of his extramarital affairs and was subjected to derogatory media coverage alleging she was possessive. They had to spend 3 months apart, regrettably, and she spoke of that time as being spent trying to control and manipulate Alan's return while also feeling extremely worn out. While driving home, she could not help but cry into God's hand. She told Today Representative Curry about the incident, stating that the only memory she had was driving home and begging God in the car, "I cannot survive this anymore." The day after dropping her girls off at dance practice, "You want my family to be apart? I can't believe it. I surrender all to you. If you do, though, I trust that you will watch over me." She recalls experiencing a profound sense of calm, even though nothing changed immediately. She said a turning point occurred in her life when she realized how controlling she had become. She felt as though she had lost touch with who she was. As her insecurities grew and the more she immersed herself in Alan's world, the more her attention seemed to be drawn to him and his dreams. At this point, Denise Jackson believed there was less emphasis on finding a means to reconcile with her husband and more on saving every marriage. She stated that one of the most important things she had learned from her book in marriage was forgiveness, and that it was the first step toward the healing and real freedom she so desperately needed. All of their children, with the exception of their youngest daughter, who was only 5 years old at the time, were informed about the marital problems with her husband. After divorcing, the couple took some time to focus on their personal growth before getting back in touch a few months later. Denise revealed to People that although the divorce was difficult for them both, they decided to put their marriage and one another first. Consequently, she made a decision to pen her book, where she would share her struggles in the hopes of motivating those who are experiencing similar things. Her battle with cancer. The moment the couple's situation seemed to be improving, they encountered another challenge. In 2010, while celebrating her anniversary and on vacation in Florida with her spouse, she received some unsettling news from her doctor that nobody wanted to hear. It surprised her and her doctor when the results showed that she had colorectal cancer because she had had a colonoscopy and had seen the doctor before her vacation because of some irregular bleeding, but they did not think it was serious. In an interview with Coping magazine, Denise verbally expressed her disbelief, saying that the news that she had cancer was the worst thing she had ever heard. Because she tried to eat healthily and occasionally went for runs, she was shocked, especially since she had received the news while enjoying a romantic trip with her spouse Alan, who was even more surprised than Denise. He agreed that Denise's lack of prior illness was just plain confusing. The couple took the next flight back to Nashville and immediately ended their romantic getaway. Denise had to make an appointment with an oncologist when they returned in order to learn more about her disease and available treatments. She remembers the experience of walking into the facility as being a little intimidating, and she says that no amount of planning can ever completely eliminate the fear and anxiety that can be brought on by simply walking into a hospital's cancer wing. Fortunately, Alan was there to help. His wife during this difficult and tragic period. As a husband, he tried his hardest to comfort and uplift her, all the time seeing his primary duty as being by her side during her suffering. When they got back from doctor's appointments during this time, Alan gave her the help and support she needed to get through any confusion or anxiety. Alan said that this was the first time he had truly felt like he was living out the line for better or worse from their wedding vows, rather than being disheartened. He strengthened himself for her benefit, something his daughter duly acknowledged about him as well. For several months, Denise underwent chemotherapy and 30 days of radiation therapy. Ultimately, following a T.W. Monin course of treatment, she was deemed cancer-free. She stated to People magazine that she never thought she would be claiming to have survived cancer. She firmly believed that her struggles were planned so she could provide comfort and support to others going through similar circumstances. She also asserted that the positive aspect of the whole ordeal, in her opinion, is that we often discover our life's purpose through overcoming adversity. Speaking of positive things, one thing that singers and songwriters have in common is the ability to find inspiration during difficult times. In the midst of the family's emotional struggle following Denise's cancer diagnosis, her husband was able to express his feelings through the poignant ballad, When I Saw You Leaving. He states that the song was on repeat in his head a few weeks following Denise's diagnosis. The lyrics express exactly the emotions and ideas he was having at the time. The song was featured on his 2012 album 30 Miles West, which debuted at the top of the Billboard Country Music chart. At his 2013 show at Stars Go Blue, which supported the Blue Note Fund of the Cologne Cancer Alliance, fans got to hear it performed live. It is still one of the most moving songs he has ever written. The meaningful lyrics immediately struck a chord with listeners, and many could identify with the song's intentions. Based on his personal experience, Alan suggested that the most crucial thing is to support and encourage a spouse who has been diagnosed with cancer. He counseled those in a similar circumstance to be there for people going through difficult times, offering reassurance, encouragement, and support. Alan faces health issues. Tragically, the endearing music icon recently disclosed some concerning health-related information during an interview with the Today Show in 2021. The 62-year-old musician disclosed that he had been diagnosed with Charcot-Marie-Tooth, or CMT. His fans were shocked by this news and started chatting about it. He revealed in the interview that he received his diagnosis some years ago and is only now choosing to tell his fans about it. He clarified that, in addition to other symptoms, the sickness has been impeding his gait. The term CMT refers to a collection of illnesses that cause the peripheral nerves, which are found outside of the brain and spinal cord, to be destroyed. They typically control how muscles move and how sensory information like touch is transmitted from the brain to the limbs. Individuals who suffer from CMT may walk awkwardly, experience numbness in their hands, legs, and arms, and have weak physical muscles. As time goes on, the condition gets worse. Alan claims that his late father, older sister, and paternal grandmother all experienced the same illness. Globally, Charcot-Marie-Tooth is estimated to affect 2.6 million people. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, the condition is characterized as a rather prevalent one that impacts the nerves responsible for controlling the muscles. Its diagnosis is not totally fatal because supportive therapy can aid in the management of the illness and rarely affects muscles required for breathing or other vital functions. When asked about his diagnosis and what it meant for him, Alan said that the condition had affected him for years and was still having an impact on his performance. He acknowledged that his nervous system and balance were being affected, which is why he stumbles so much on stage. But he reassured fans by saying that the condition has little bearing on the average lifespan. Having been a shining star in the country music industry for almost 30 years and being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in 2017, Alan has no plans to take a break from the limelight anytime soon. He does not want to appear corny by going on a retirement tour and then returning a year later. His dearest niece is supporting him at home, just as he did for her when she was diagnosed with cancer, and his family has been there for him during this difficult time. She was more than happy to give her all for the man she had loved her entire life and comfort him as they managed his illness, because he was there for her when she needed support. She continued by saying that they had already lived a life straight out of fairy tale together, and that it did not matter that there was no treatment for his illness because she was willing to support him through it all. The gifted country singer recently said that despite fighting the illness covertly for over a decade, it is becoming increasingly apparent because of how it affects his stage balance. Following the release of the news, he stated, "I simply want people to know that's the reason behind my appearance, in case they're curious. I would prefer not to come across as a spoiled brat. It's not lethal, it won't kill me, but it will in the long run." Beaming with positivity, he stated that the sickness has not affected his voice and that he will continue to write songs and perform for as long as he can. His appreciation for having led such a rich and fulfilling life is evident in his album Where Have You Gone? He was unable to comprehend the challenges faced by others, although he would not normally complain about it. This issue will affect his on-stage performance, and he is not sure how long he will be on the road. In addition to his wonderful marriage, Alan had a relationship that is rare for people in their lifetime, a relationship that his fans couldn't ignore. Let's delve into the details of his relationship with his idol. It's impossible to find someone who does not have an idol or someone they look up to, but very few get the opportunity to meet them in person, let alone get to know them well. This can be a life-changing experience for those who are lucky enough to have it. It is impossible to describe the feeling of finally meeting someone you admire so much, and even fewer people can say they have become close friends with their heroes. This was Alan's situation when he had the amazing chance to meet George Jones, his hero from country music. The two instantly bonded upon meeting the music legend, which resulted in a sweet and enduring friendship since George and Alan were so similar, despite their age differences. They clicked right away. One of the most significant distinctions between the two was how their careers developed. In 1989, while Alan was just getting his first record deal, George had already put out over 50 albums and had roughly 10 #1 singles on the country charts. It was surprising, therefore, that two men who were obviously at very different stages of life could become friends. While Alan's singing career was booming in the early 1990s, George's appeared to be in decline. Nevertheless, George never stopped encouraging his friend. He wrote in his 1996 autobiography, "I lived to tell it all that Alan was highly sought after by radio programmers to work on their stations because of his popularity." Finally, in 1999, George's career took off once more. His hit song, Choices, gained a lot of traction and was nominated for the Country Music Awards Single of the Year. Later, the song would spark some controversy when George refused to perform an abridged version of the song at the Country Music. Due to time constraints, George Jones refused to comply with the association's request to shorten his performance, and insisted on singing the entire song. To show his dissatisfaction, he skipped the awards show. However, halfway through the performance of Papa Top at the awards show, Alan chose to show support for his friend by singing a few lines from Choices. When he was finished, he stomped off the stage with his guitar. George was ecstatic to receive that show of support, thanking Alan over the phone and saying, "You made this old boy feel awful proud last night." A few months later, Alan's ascent to the top of country music continued unhindered when Choices took home the Grammy for Best Male Country Vocal Performance. Together, the two friends' musical careers reached new heights, and their friendship only grew stronger. Regretfully, the pair was unable to perform a duet together, despite their desires. On April 20th, 2013, George passed away at the age of 81. Alan, like everyone else, was devastated to lose both his hero and close friend, so it was expected that he would attend his farewell event in November the same year. During the funeral at the Grand Ole Opry, he sang a beautiful duet of one of George Strait's songs, He Stopped Loving Her Today. At the CMA Awards, he also gave homage to his hero. One of the greatest friendships in the music business will always be linked to George and Alan because of their extraordinary bond. In a wide-open country interview, he called He Stopped Loving Her Today the most almost perfect country song anyone could ever sing, and said it was perhaps the most influential song of his career. His friendship is still having an effect, even after George's death. Speaking of their first encounter, Alan remembers George telling him to keep it country when they first met. Even though he had intended to do just that, the words held great significance for Alan because they came from his idol. In 2018, Alan posted a heartfelt photo of the two of them on social media on his friend's birthday. Alan never stopped mourning his dear friend George's death and often took advantage of George's birthdays to post and let his feelings out. Alan Jackson was inducted into the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in 2010 and the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2017, demonstrating his continued growth in the music industry despite facing numerous health challenges and losses. After discussing the special bond he had with his idol and his friend, let's examine the reports from his daughters, which eventually caused people to view Alan in a different light. The union of Alan and Denise was blessed with 3 beautiful daughters, each one a precious gift in their lives. Maddie, their oldest, was born on June 19, 1990. Just a few months later, on August 23, 1994, they welcomed Ollie Jane into their growing family. On August 28, 1996, Danny Grace completed their trio of daughters. As the years went by, their daughters each found their paths in life, with Maddie shining brightly as she pursued her passion for spreading positivity and inspiration through her podcast, Joy Life. Tragically, her husband, Ben Seligman's passing in 2018 left a deep void in her life, but she found the strength to honor his memory by writing a heartfelt book titled Lemons on Friday, Trusting God Through My Greatest Heartbreak. In the 2021 edition of the book, Alan and Denise lovingly contributed the foreword, expressing their pride and admiration for Maddie's courage and resilience in the face of adversity. She fell in love again 5 years after she was tragically widowed at the young age of 28. After getting married, she moved to Nashville, Tennessee, to live with her husband and their cherished yellow lab, Ryman. In a caption for a photo from her wedding on Instagram, she honored her father by saying that he had always supported her and that her life has been guided by her faith in God and herself. Ollie, Alan's second daughter, along with her sister, penned down a touching tribute to their father. Ollie and her husband got married in 2021, and soon after, Alan and Denise welcomed another grandson, Jackson Alvey Bradshaw, into their family. Following that, Ollie posted heartfelt remarks about her father on social media. She thanked him for teaching her how to stand on her own 2 feet and stressed the value of treating people with kindness and respect. In a heartfelt post titled, "Everyone around you recognizes you for what you truly are," she wrote, "A phenomenal singer, songwriter. You're the perfect father figure for any girl." She continued, "Your home was always a haven of music and Jesus, and you made sure we knew that we could do anything we set our minds to. We are very grateful." According to Ali's article, her father's enormous influence in the entertainment industry had a profound impact on her and her family. Alan maintained his remarkable modesty and commitment to his family despite his rise to fame and lengthy tour schedule. It is extremely unusual and amazing that he was able to stay close to his family and still have a profound musical impact on a great number of people. Ali continued saying that even though her father had shortcomings, she felt compelled to stand up for him because she could always rely on him. He was a perfect role model for her because he offered happiness, compassion, and music into their home while ensuring that she and her sisters understood that their dreams could come true. The sincere post quickly gained popularity as many of Alan's followers saw the kind message and quickly responded in kind. It is pretty obvious from Alan's daughter's tributes to him that, in addition to being an amazing musician, he was also a wonderful father figure and an inspiration to his kids. By examining Alan's life, we gain a deeper understanding of the complexities of fame, family, and personal challenges, offering valuable lessons for our own lives. Alan's resilience is evident in his continued success and influence on the music industry, despite the challenges he faced. What do you think about Alan's life? Please leave a comment, and don't forget to check out other videos, and follow us for more.